Hi guys, welcome. My name is Patricia Fellows. I'm with Reach Out and Read of Greater New York. I'm excited to introduce our volunteer today, Diane. She has two incredible books that she is going to read, and I'm actually very excited to hear. I'll pass it on to Diane. The first book she's going to start off with is Bubbles.
Yes, and it's called Bubbles, a narwhal and jelly board book by Ben Clanton, and it's published by Tundra Books. Ahoy, Jelly! Narwhal, look at this beautiful bubble. That is the best, most bubbliest bubble I've ever seen. Oopsies. Sorry, Jelly. Pop. He popped the bubble. You burst my bubble. Let's find a new bubble. There are lots of bubbles in the sea. See? Bubbles up high. And bubbles down low. Coming from this shellfish when he burps. Whoa. Itty bitty bubbles. And great big bubbles. Wow, this is unbelievable. We can blow bubbles and pop them. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, this bubble is green and looks like a bean. These bubbles are pink. Ew, these bubbles kind of stink. Toot, they're coming from this crab. Look, Jelly, a rainbow bubble. Wow, I want to see. Pop. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Narwhal. Now I've burst your bubble. It's no trouble. There are oodles of bubbles. And that's the story of how many bubbles there are. Sometimes a little trouble can lead to something incredible. And that's Bubbles by Ben Clanton. Next, I have a book called What Cried Granny? An Almost Bedtime Story by Kate Lum, pictures by Adrian Johnson, and published by Puffin Books by the Penguin Group. Penguin Putnam Books for Young Readers. Here we see Granny offering milk and cookies to a boy. Let's see who he is. Let me just adjust. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Patrick who was having his first sleepover at his granny's house. As the sun began to set, Granny said, "Patrick, dear boy, it will be dark soon. Time to get ready for bed." "But Granny," said Patrick. As you can see, the sun is starting to go down. "But Granny," said Patrick, "I don't have a bed here." "What?" cried Granny. She ran out to her yard where some tall trees were growing and chopped one down. She ran out with an axe. She carried it to her workroom, opened her toolbox, and made Patrick a fine bed. You can see her measuring, sawing, drilling, and nailing. These are all her drawings for the bed. Ooh, it's a lot of work. Then she painted it a restful shade of blue, put a comfy red mattress on it, and took it to the bedroom. "There you are, dear boy," said Granny. "Now climb into bed, lay your head on the pillow, and sail off to dreamland." "But Granny," said Patrick. "I don't have a pillow here." "What?" cried Granny. She ran out to the hen house, woke up the chickens, and collected a big batch of feathers. Here's the hen house. She took them to her sewing room, where she made a bag out of cloth. Then she stuffed it with the feathers, sewed it up neatly, and gave it to Patrick. "There you are, dear boy," said Granny. "Now climb into bed, lay your head on the pillow, tuck the blanket under your chin, and I'll kiss you good night." "But Granny," said Patrick, "I don't have a blanket here." Let me just see if I can get a little closer. Is that any better?
Yes.
"What?" cried Granny. She ran outside and headed for the hills where a flock of fat sheep were snoozing. She sheared off some of their wool and ran right back home. She took the wool to her basement, spun it into yarn, knitted a fuzzy warm blanket, and dyed it the prettiest shade of twilight purple. When it was dry, she carried it upstairs and spread it on the bed. Here you can see her spinning the yarn, knitting the blanket, dyeing it purple, and spreading it on the bed. Now, dear boy, said Granny, climb into bed, lay your head on the pillow, tuck the blanket under your chin, give your teddy bear a hug, and turn out the light. But Granny, said Patrick. I don't have a teddy bear here. What? Cried Granny. She grabbed her emergency sewing kit, tore down the living room curtains, cut, sewed, stuffed, added button eyes and a red ribbon, and made a teddy bear for Patrick. Now, Patrick, cried Granny, climb into bed, lay your head on the pillow, tuck the blanket under your chin, give your teddy bear a hug, and go to sleep. But Granny, said Patrick, it's morning. Wah! Cried Granny. And that's what happened all through the night at Granny's house. Don't forget to check out the Reach Out and Read of Greater New York website for a list of free printed and video-based resources in English and Spanish, such as parent workshops, read-alouds, and educational hands-on activities for your children. And enter your email to join a newsletter in which updates about Reach Out and Read of Greater New York will be sent straight to your inbox. You know, Reach Out and Read gives young children a foundation for success by incorporating books into pediatric care and encouraging families to read aloud together. With a library card, you will have access to lots of books to read together. And in the city of New York, there are 3 library systems. There's Brooklyn Public, Queens Public, and New York Public, which is comprised of Manhattan, Bronx, and Staten Island boroughs. And the links to these systems are in the video. So don't forget to get a library card, or if you have one, to use it and borrow more books so that you guys can read together. those are the books I have for today, and I hope you enjoyed them.
Thank you, Diane. Bye, everyone.
You're welcome.